Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. God damn, let's talk about a book. We're here for Beard on King. This is episode 20, and we're going to talk about Finders Keepers, Volume 2 in the Bill Hodges trilogy. Um, I like this book. I liked it more than I liked Mr. Mercedes. And I liked Mr. Mercedes, but I love the premise of this book. Have often said I love books about books, and the premise here is that a guy robs a famous author, John Rothstein, late in life, kills him, steals his money, steals his um trunk novels, his notebooks, like 150 novels, or I'm sorry, 150 notebooks worth of material, and buries them in a creekside. I think it's like 1976, and buries them in a bank under a tree next to a creek, and then goes to jail for 35 years. Now, I will say that I found it a bit off that because this guy's not a run of the mill criminal. He's after the books. He's after the stories. He does not like the way John Rothstein's famous Jimmy Gold trilogy ended. He felt that he turned Jimmy Gold into a sellout. He didn't, much like Misery, how the fan didn't like what the author did. Our murderer slash robber here does not like what John Rothstein did with his famous trilogy and this particular guy's favorite literary character, right? And he thinks there's got to be more. I mean, this guy hasn't published anything in roughly 20 years. He's been writing the whole time. Yeah, so he goes and robs and kills this reclusive author. And 35 years later, we'll get to that in a second. But I mean, I found it odd that a guy that was not a run of the mill criminal, was not a um, necessarily a murderer, and until this point, and I get it if you can perform one um, criminal act, you can probably perform them all. But he buries them. I mean, the novels, the money, it's hot, man. Buries them, puts them away. Gets into an argument with his mother and goes out, gets drunk, and rapes a girl and gets put away for 35 years. Now, to me, I just didn't feel that. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong in thinking that criminals can't be readers and readers aren't criminals and readers um, someone that thinks that deeply and has that deep of a love of fiction is not capable of, that type of crime. I don't know. It just felt weird that he spent so much time wanting to get his hands on these things to throw it all away by going to prison for a rape charge. It's just how I felt about it. So Pete Salvers. I can't really remember how you pronounce the last name. Is a 12-year-old boy? Or no, he's not. He's a young boy, like maybe 16. I'm kind of guesstimating here, but he finds this stuff. 35 years later, finds this stuff, and or 33 years later, somewhere like that. And he finds it. His father was actually injured in the Mr. Mercedes thing. He was actually hit with the Mercedes. He didn't die, but was injured. It's really put a strain on the family, and so he's puts the trunk novels away, but starts sending his parents money, basically $500 a month or whatever, until it runs out. Like it's like $22,000 or whatever over the course of a 2 to 3 year span, and then our killer gets out, and it just so happens that Pete lives in his old house, and so it doesn't really take a lot to figure out what's happened with the trunk novels. Now, a lot of that stuff was super convenient. Like it was super convenient of how um, the killer found Pete, but also the way Hodges and Holly and Jerome kind of get on the trail of the whole situation. I mean, some of it it comes down to the end, and it all happens so fast, and everybody happens to make it to the right place at the right time, and there's just a real level of convenience there, and I just would be lying if I said I didn't feel some of that. But ultimately, I mean, I really liked the book. I liked the cat and mouse stuff. Again, I loved the exploration of this, reclusive author, John Rothstein. I always thought that it was kind of supposed to be like John Updike, and I don't know a lot about John Updike, and I haven't read much John Updike, but the series is like The Runner, and The Runner goes west, and The Runner settles down, or The Runner, whatever, and Updike had that, I think it was a 5-book set of The Rabbit, like Rabbit Redux, and Rabbit Gets Rich, and so, like, I always thought that Rothstein was kind of like Updike, and like later in the book it kind of gives a mention of Updike, and so that just kind of, I don't know, did you think that, did anyone else get that feeling that Rothstein was kind of like based off of Updike? I don't know. For me, but I really liked the book about books, and I love the the elements of rare book salesmen, and the seedy side of that, and the collectability of books, and I enjoyed that stuff. Now, while I was reading this, I've watched Mr. Mercedes season 1, and I've got a video up for the first 5 episodes of that. I'll have another video up for the second half of it here in a bit. One thing that stands out to me is I like Holly Gibney on the screen more than I do in the books. Again, she's kind of a quirky, odd, somewhat annoying character. She's got like an Asperger's thing going on. For me, it plays a bit annoying in the books, and I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just, the truth. On screen, it's, I don't know. Like, I hate to, be totally honest here. I mean, on the screen, she's attractive younger woman, whereas in the books, I think she's like in her late 40s. But on the screen, she's an attractive younger woman, and it's less annoying, I guess. But hey, I'm here for truth. I'm here for honesty. So now at the tail end of this thing, we start to prepare ourselves for End of Watch, for the next book, and I would be lying if I said I didn't wish Brady Hartsfield died. I mean, I didn't wish that he was done. I'm not anticipating loving End of Watch. I'm not anticipating loving another Brady Hartsfield story. I could be wrong about that. I'm proven wrong often. But, in this case, we come back to Hodges visiting Brady in the hospital, and Brady is starting to come out of things. It feels like there's a nurse that mysteriously committed suicide in the hospital. And I mean, I don't know if Hodges really thinks Brady's behind it, or if he's just kind of toying with him. But he's trying to get a reaction out of Brady, trying to get him to kind of say, hey, are you there? Because he's acting like he's not there, right? But are you there? And then at the end, Hodges walks out of the room, and there's something that happens. Like, it almost makes you think that Brady's going to have some sort of like telepathic power now, from the knock in the head, or from whatever they've done to him here in the hospital. And again, not only did I not want another Brady Hartsfield story, but I definitely don't want him to come out of this with powers. I don't know, that felt kind of weird to me. But I enjoyed the book. I'm enjoying the series overall, the cast of characters. It's so far to this point, it's been crime fiction more so than horror. Yeah, no. So the TV series is different. Again, season 2 is End of Watch, kind of, loosely at least, and season 3 is this Finders Keepers. And I tried to start season 2 thinking it was this, and it wasn't. And then I tried to start season 3 knowing that at least it's kind of loosely based on this, but then it was just giving me way too much that was going to screw up my ability to watch season 2. I can tell you that in the TV series, that there's not that 35-year gap. Like the guy steals these things in modern day. This is a modern day crime, and he gets injured. He like wrecks his vehicle, and so he hides, like, the vehicle's way off the road. He kind of covers it up. It's got a suitcase full of loot from the robbery, and the kid's going to find that stuff, but it's all happening right together at the same time period rather than having that 35-year break. I mean, I found that part about the book really interesting, really kind of cool, because like I mean, you almost think that, I mean, don't get me wrong, that this guy's still alive in prison, but you almost think that Pete's, going to find this stuff and not, I mean, it's a Stephen King book, there's going to be some trouble, right? But it almost feels like, he's got that stuff scot free and there's not going to be a problem. I mean, I don't know why it would feel that way, because again, we know who wrote it, but yeah, I enjoyed the book. And really, as far as the premise of this story, the robbery, the found stuff, the back and forth between those two characters, like, I really, really liked it. And for me, it was probably more of the Hodges, the cast of characters from the trilogy that kind of maybe knocked it down a bit for me. But anyway, I enjoyed it. Stephen King, Finders Keepers. Again, love the cover. Love the 3 covers together. Really cool. So this is Well Red Beard. That's been my review. I'm at 4 stars. I don't know if I said that. I think I was at 3 on Mr. Mercedes. I'm going to throw this one 4. Man, I don't know. I'm kind of worried about End of Watch. Tell me what you thought about this book. Tell me if you liked it more than Volume 1, or if you liked Volume 1 more. I'm very interested in knowing people's opinions on this series. Click subscribe. Anyway, this is Well Red Beard. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.